What's up, everybody? Well, holiday weekend, it got kind of hot outside for working outside, so I decided I'm going to do my chain today. I got my gold and silver chains. They look a little bit different. They're pretty close, but it's going to be kind of a subtle difference. But I'm going to go every other link gold and silver. Probably a good reason not to do this, but since I don't know what it is, I'm going to do it. You just break every other link and then reassemble it as another chain. And I was trying to figure out, I was having trouble wrapping my head around whether it would work or not, or whether I was going to end up with two of the same color links together and having it look weird. So I took the old chain and basically just put it on every other link just to see if I reassembled it, if everything would be cool, and it is. So I think it's going to work as long as I keep the sprockets the same size. There's not a whole lot of room on this bike for adjusting the wheel back and forth. There's a little bit, but I don't know if there's enough for me to take a whole link out if it came up wrong. So that's kind of cool. It seems like it would work. So it might be a lot of work for nothing, but whatever. So I'm going to get started and start breaking some chain. Okay, so I did about 8 sections of each, and now I need a break. But it's real subtle, but I guess I'll know it's there. It might, in the sun, it might pick it up a little bit more. But I'm going to stick to it and keep doing it. If you've never done this kind of stuff before, this is what I'm doing. You take a chain, you take the link that you want to, where you want to separate it, and you put it in this tool like this, and then you turn the crank, and what it does is it pushes that pin out. And you don't want to push the pin all the way out because it's almost impossible to get back in. So you kind of develop a feel for how far you want to go, and then you back the tool off. You really want to leave like a little bit of the pin coming through the other side. You don't even want it flush. See, that one went almost too far. That one's flush because then it makes it a little more difficult to put them back together. Try it with this one and see if I can get it a little bit better. But you want to leave it sticking out just a little bit because it makes it easier when you go to reassemble them to sort of squeeze it in there and have a little bit of something to hold it together while you're putting it back in the tool. So let's see if I did it right on this one. I think I might have did the wrong. No, that's right. So if you kind of break it like that, it's supposed to look like that. Actually, that one's not quite far enough, and then what you want to do is you take the two and you sort of snap them together. If I might not be able to do it this one. Yeah, this one didn't go far enough, so you can stick it back in there and push the pin out a little bit more. And about there. So it looks, you can still see a little bit of it sticking through, but not much. And what that does is when you go to reassemble them, like this, you can open it up enough to get the other one in, and then it kind of holds itself together a little bit. When you put it back in the tool, you put it back in the same tool. Oops. You have to back it out. And you put it back in the same tool the other way. And then you push the pin back in until you can just sort of see it come out the other side. And really, you don't have to look at it after a while. You kind of develop a feel for it. Now, the bad thing about what I'm doing, this is how you would take a normal chain apart and put it back together. But what happens is when you reassemble it, these two links that I just put together, they won't move in relation to each other because they're too tight. So what you have to do is put it in the other section of the chain breaker, and then you just put a little bit of pressure on the pin to kind of, and that section separates the two halves from each other so that now it moves. Oops, now it moves like that. Problem is with what I'm doing here, some of them are loose, but I'm probably going to have to go through and do every one that I did. I'll have to go and loosen it up a little bit. So, but I'm going to continue on. We'll watch some racing, and I'll come back when I have a whole chain. Okay, here you can kind of see it's pretty subtle, but the top chain here is gold, bottom chain is silver, and the one in the middle alternates. It's real subtle. It's almost not worth doing, but you know, I'm hoping it'll look better when it's done and when you see it sort of in natural light. I'm just sitting here in my kitchen right now, but I'm hoping it'll look kind of cool. Maybe should have gone with chains that are a little more different from each other, but this is what I have, so I'm going to stick with it for now.